not doing anything.
But this is the Late Parsha Show, so let's get into it.
'Cause every good deed that you do, and every...
I've discovered, I shouldn't say discovered because that makes it sound very official. I've come to the near conclusion that when you want to see the Late Parsha Show and you want to see like the funny stuff, even just to throw in a completely random scene is already funny enough for you. And for me also, I enjoy this way so much better. It's not Kalen, it's just Iris to tell you. This week's Torah portion is called Bishalach, which comes from the word Shalach, which means to send. And of course, we were just sent out of Egypt, starting our trek in the desert, which basically takes up the rest, actually takes up the rest of the Torah. There was just so much that went down on this journey between us and Moses and between us and God. I don't even know where I'm holding now. Oh, you've got to learn a little bit better. Okay, mommy. I talk to my mommy in my head.
Can you imagine?
The first parsha of the Torah that takes place with us entirely in the desert this week. Major occurrences occur. Because occurrences occur. That's the way occurrences work. They occur. All right, moving on. Two major things that happen are the splitting of the sea. I'm assuming that you know what that is. And AMALEK. I always knew I was a lake. AMALEK had actually nothing to do with a lake as far as I'm concerned. Okay, for real, AMALEK was a person who by now was a nation, the nation of AMALEK from this person, and they waged war with us. That's the second major occurrence, the war we waged with AMALEK. At the end of the Torah portion this week, the Torah tells us that there is a war between God and AMALEK from generation to generation. The fact that it's being called a war between God and AMALEK isn't a problem because we see strikingly clearly from learning the beginning of this week's Torah portion, the enemies of the Jewish people are the enemies of God. You mess with the Jews, you're messing with God. But the question is, although historically we've waged war with AMALEK a few times, what war with AMALEK is happening now? Who even is AMALEK? I just want to say that I really love AMALEK. No, that sounds really bad. I don't love AMALEK. In fact, I am hoping that AMALEK very soon ceases to exist completely. But what I mean is I love learning about AMALEK and what the war with AMALEK means now. And here's just a bit. I think I can whack it. Although my knowledge is extremely limited as far as the actual physical nation of AMALEK goes, what I can tell you is that now we are waging war with a spiritual AMALEK. Because physically, I'm a river. But spiritually, I'm a lake. Even physically, the war with AMALEK was so much more than just war and fighting and getting sore. What was wrong with AMALEK's war general that he was like, God wreaks complete havoc and utter destruction upon the enemies of the Jews. So I think it would be very wise to start up with them. I don't think it would be very wise, but this was a spiritual thing. And the words that the Torah uses to describe AMALEK's attack actually is Asher karcha baderech. And the word karcha, which over here simply means attacked, is the word kar, which means cold. AMALEK was all about chill. AMALEK is that spiritual enemy within that says, hang on a sec, you're getting excited about God? You just left Mitzrayim, which as we spoke about symbolizes limits and boundaries where, we're serving God on just this level. And then we say, we're leaving Mitzrayim. We're leaving the evil of Pharaoh and the Egyptians and we're moving forward. We're moving to Mount Sinai. We're going to accept the Torah. We're going to do this for real. AMALEK sees that we're on the way to get the Torah. He's like, whoa, chill, bro. Dude, calm it down. Dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fellow Jews, we live in a time where, Baruch Hashem, it's very easy to get inspired. But as easy as it is to get inspired and as accessible as Torah is, it's also very easy to be uninspired, to get uninspired, to be de-inspired, if that's a word. Other things are accessible as well that, by their very nature, will keep us from being inspired or deplete our inspiration. This is the work of AMALEK. Let's not listen to that inner voice that says, chill, don't get so excited. Don't, even be excited, but don't be excited enough that I'm going to go implement something better in my life. I hope I don't sound like I'm preaching as if I'm better than anybody watching this video. I'm not at all. What I'm saying is, may we keep the inspiration in our hearts, and may the inspiration be real, that we go ahead and make even one move with it. One act of goodness, kindness. And with the victory over Amalek, we'll move on to Sinai, to even more revelation than by Egypt, and then by the splitting of the sea. And we already were by Sinai. What I mean is, we'll move on to receiving the Torah on a whole new level from Mashiach. May this be now.
'Cause every good deed that you do, and every kind word that you say,